Hey folks, Robbie Payne with Chrome Unbox coming at you today with an unboxing and review of the HP Chromebook 11 G5. Available since all the way back in July, this device has come down in price, and its combination of specs and a touchscreen and a decently low price make for a pretty compelling package. So let's get in and check this thing out and see what it looks like. As this device has been on the market for almost 6 months, it seems a bit unnecessary to dig too deep into the specs and features, but we'll talk about them here real briefly. Inside, we have the Intel Celeron N3060 Braswell processor, 4 gigs of RAM, 16 gigs of eMMC storage, a 1366 by 768 touchscreen display, 2 USB 3.0 ports, a full-size HDMI port, 3.5mm headphone and microphone jack, and a micro SD card slot. Overall, there's nothing really out of the ordinary on the list, and this device feels and performs pretty much that way. It's solid, but plastic, portable, but not the thinnest device on the market, well built, and misses some of the finer points. So nothing bad and nothing great. That seems to be the theme for the HP Chromebook 11 G5. It simply delivers solid performance on a budget. The N3060 Braswell processor and 4 gigs of RAM perform pretty well, especially when they don't have to push a full HD display. Octane scores of around 9,000 were achievable, and though it shares the same internals as the R11, it actually felt a little bit zippier in everyday use. The best octane I could get from the R11 was a mid-8,000 score, so it seems the G5 holds a slight edge there. Basic browsing and everyday tasks get along just fine, as well as most Android apps I tested. I played many rounds of Modern Combat 5 online with no issues whatsoever. Frame rate stayed up near 60 the entire time as well. Battery is also very solid, giving at least 8 hours of use with screen brightness up around 80%. Speaking of the screen, this model is equipped with a touchscreen, and actually a pretty good one, which makes the entire package a little bit better of a deal. Touch interactions were actually really responsive and felt super smooth. With developer mode method, Android apps are actually available for use on this device right now, and in the coming months, they'll be enabled out of the box. And so the touchscreen was a really worthwhile add-on. Brightness is nothing amazing, but it's decent, coming in pretty close to what you get on the R11 or the Asus Flip. With a glossy screen, you'll struggle in sunlight, but the IPS display pops, colors are good, and viewing angles are really fantastic. Color temperature is kind of cool, giving whites a bit more pop as well. Though you get a touchscreen, you're still likely to find yourself using the keyboard and trackpad for the most part, as this is an 11.6-inch laptop after all. This is a part of the HP 11 G5 that's a bit hit and miss. The keyboard's just too clicky, giving the keys a slight bit of travel before they're actually depressed. It makes them sound loud as you're typing. While not the worst keyboard I've ever used, it isn't great. Travel's fine, and it didn't hinder my ability to type up a few articles, but the clacky sound and wobbly keys were just a little bit off-putting. The trackpad is a mixed bag as well. The surface is smooth and decently resistant to oils, and it's also a decent size for a smaller Chromebook. But the click mechanism is simply too firm. It simply feels like you have to push down way too far to register a click, making the whole experience feel a bit muddy and awkward. If you're a tap-to-click fan, you'll be just fine here because there's no wiggling or floating around as we've seen on some other poorly made trackpads. The speakers on this device were a nice and unexpected surprise. They're bottom firing, but situated in a unique position towards the front of the device. The sound was full and rich and way better than I expected. Overall, I'd have to say I'm pretty pleased with the HP Chromebook 11 G5. It does a lot of things well, and at the price point it's sitting at right now and likely to stay at for some time, it's a really good deal. Should you buy it? I think so. If you can get past the wonky trackpad, and maybe you'll get one with a decent trackpad in it, it's actually a pretty good deal, especially for a touchscreen Chromebook that's getting Android apps and performs pretty well. Overall, we're quite pleased. Guys, if you like this video, please subscribe below, hit that like button, and until next time, we'll see you.